We stand here because care should never be out of reach. Decisions about treatment belong between patients and the people they trust.
That's right.
This is about dignity, about access, and about giving every Texan a fair chance to heal.
We're with you.
Mr. Torres, the system is flagging this one. It looks like your plan needs another approval and we don't have enough stock right now.
So I can't pick it up today?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. I'll send the authorization request and check with our supplier.
Doctor, these numbers are well above the state average for opioids. Can you explain why?
My patients live with severe documented pain. I monitor them closely, and every dose is justified in their charts. I don't write a script unless I believe it's necessary.
Did you consider tapering?
Hello everyone, I'm Ingrid Kitty Trim, founder and executive director of P.A.R.T Texas and P.A.R.T USA.
And I'm James Scott Trim, president of P.A.R.T Texas and P.A.R.T USA.
As we get closer to our 1-year anniversary on August 5th, 2026, I want people to understand something very important. P.A.R.T Texas is only about 10 months old, which happened on June 5th of 2026. We are still a very young organization. We are still building, we are still growing. But from the beginning, we knew chronic pain patients needed more than sympathy. They needed structure, they needed organization. They needed a way to help get laws changed, legislation changed, and policy changed. When we started looking for that structure, we realized something. There really was not an organization built the way chronic pain patients needed it to be built. There were people talking about the problem, there were people sharing stories, there were people raising awareness, and all that does matter. But we were looking for something that could help patients move from suffering in silence to actually being part of the changing the system. We could not find that right structure, so we built it ourselves. And I will be honest with you, as the founder, I never imagined that a brand new chronic pain nonprofit organization would accomplish this much in its first year. I thought we would spend the first year simply getting organized, finding our footing, and trying to figure out where we fit. But what we have learned is this: when you have the right knowledge, the right skills, the right structure, and the right mission, even a young organization can make a serious impact, even other organizations who have been on the scene for years. It wasn't just about the timing of things, it was the know-how and why we were making huge progress in Texas. And P.A.R.T Texas has already helped create major change in the state of Texas. We are not saying the work is finished. Far from it. But what we are saying is this movement is no longer just an idea. It is working, it is growing, and the people in positions of influence are starting to listen.
And June of 2026 has proven just how far this movement has come. In 1 month alone, P.A.R.T Texas and P.A.R.T USA saw major victories, major conversations, and major doors begin to open for chronic pain patients. From Washington, D.C., to the Texas Medical Board, to the Texas GOP State Convention, June became one of the most important months we have had so far. And for an organization that is only about 10 months old, that is something worth recognizing.
One of the biggest accomplishments this month was the Washington, D.C. advocacy trip with the American Pain and Disability Foundation. That trip was a success. It gave us the opportunity to make important contacts and to have serious conversations about the crisis chronic pain patients are facing across the country. We were able to connect with Texas legislators and offices tied to key areas where chronic pain patient access has already gained support through resolutions and planks. Those districts included SD 30, SD 16, and SD 9. That matters because these are not just names on paper. These are signs that chronic pain patients are starting to be seen in public policy. We also made contact with a legislator who requested more information and is looking at the possibility of sponsoring a federal bill next year when the new U.S. Congress begins. That is a major step forward.
Another major victory came through the Texas GOP State Convention. The convention ended on a high note for chronic pain patients, physicians, and medical freedom activists. P.A.R.T Texas helped organize patients, educate delegates, work with the convention participants, and push this issue forward. And the result was powerful. The Texas Republican Party platform now includes strong language that supports patients' rights, physician autonomy, doctor-patient decision-making, due process for physicians, and better access to medically necessary treatment. This is important because platform language is not just symbolic. It tells lawmakers that voters and delegates are asking them to take seriously, and this year, chronic pain patients are heard.
One of the biggest victories was in Plank 132. That plank supports protecting physicians from interference by the Texas Medical Board, the Texas State Board of Pharmacy, and federal government when it comes to treatment plans and prescribing decisions. That matters deeply to chronic pain patients because when doctors are afraid, patients suffer. When doctors fear investigation, complaints, or punishment for treating patients appropriately, patients are the ones who lose access to care. P.A.R.T. Texas helped push through an amendment that included protection from federal government interference, not just state-level interference. That is a major issue for chronic pain patients because federal pressure has had a huge impact on prescribing decisions, pharmacy behavior, and patient access. Medical decisions should be made by doctors and patients, not by fear, not by politics, not by agencies that do not know patients sitting in the exam room.
Plank 132 also supports due process protections for physicians. That includes reforms like ending confidential complaints against physicians, ending anonymous medical witnesses, requiring legal due process, allowing complaints to be heard in state district court, preventing conflicts of interest, and stopping intimidation tactics by board attorneys. That may sound very legal and technical, but it matters because patients need doctors who are able to practice medicine without being intimidated out of treating. A doctor who is afraid to treat pain cannot fully help the patient. So protecting physicians is also.
Another major victory was Plank 133. This plank supports pharmaceutical manufacturing, supply chains, storage, and availability of medical products within the state of Texas. That connects directly to the goals of our Break the Bottleneck Act. P.A.R.T. Texas developed the Break the Bottleneck Act because chronic pain patients and other patients have been harmed by medication shortages, pharmacy delays, and supply chain problems. When patients cannot get their medically necessary medication, their lives can be turned upside down. This is not just about convenience. For many patients, medication access is the difference between functioning and suffering. Plank 133 is a step toward recognizing that Texas needs stronger medical supply, infrastructure, and better access to needed medication. That is a huge win.
Now we want to be very clear. A party platform is not the same thing as law. This does not mean the work is finished, but it does mean we now have important language on the board. It gives lawmakers a clear signal that physician autonomy, due process, medical freedom, pharmaceutical manufacturing, supply chain strength, and access to medically necessary treatment are issues voters care about. The GOP convention is over, but the legislative fight is just beginning, and chronic pain patients are entering that fight with new allies, new momentum, and real victories already in place.
Another huge moment came when Dr. Mark Ibsen contacted P.A.R.T. Texas and myself about the Texas Medical Board allowing public comments concerning opioids, doctor-patient relation, and pain care. We did not have much time, but we scrambled. We got the word out. We encouraged people to show up. We had people join and speak on behalf of P.A.R.T. Texas and chronic pain patients. Our Vice President, Melissa McVeigh, was scheduled to speak on behalf of P.A.R.T. Texas, but unfortunately, she was called away because of a work obligation. So I stepped in. I gave a brief statement about myself, and then I read Melissa's prepared statement, verbatim, exactly as she had written it. And then something happened that we honestly were very grateful to hear, but it was very unexpected. The Texas Medical Board acknowledged P.A.R.T. Texas and said they would be reaching out through their representative to look at a possible collaborative relationship with us. They had asked how many members we had, and we told them approximately 50. That may not sound huge, but to some people, That may not sound huge to some people, but let me tell you something. For a patient-led organization that has not even reached its first anniversary yet, that is powerful because it shows that we are no longer just talking among ourselves. We are being heard by people who have influence over the system.
What makes all of this even more important is that chronic pain should not be a partisan issue. Yes, we are grateful that the Texas Republican Party listened and included strong platform language supporting chronic pain patients and the physicians who treat them. But chronic pain does not belong to one political party. Pain patients are Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and people who do not even care about politics at all. Their mothers, fathers, grandparents, veterans, workers, caregivers, and even children. They come from every background and every community. This should be an issue that brings people together. Patients deserve advocates on both parties. Doctors deserve protection no matter which party is in power. And people living in severe pain deserve dignity, compassion, and access to appropriate care.
What makes all of this so meaningful is that Part Texas and Part USA are still young. We are coming up on 1 year. 1 year. And in that time, we have gone from an idea to an organization to a growing advocacy movement that is now being recognized in Texas and Washington, D.C., and among people who have the ability to help change policy. We have done this with limited resources. We have done this while hearing heartbreaking stories from patients who are suffering, scared, abandoned, or forced to fight for care they should have never had to pay for in the first place. And we have done this because we believe chronic pain patients deserve better.
We want to thank every person who has supported this effort. Every member, every volunteer, every patient who shared their story, every caregiver who spoke up, every doctor who still believes in the doctor-patient relationship, every advocate who made phone calls, sent emails, attended meetings, showed up online, or simply encouraged someone else not to give up.
And to the American Pain and Disability Foundation, and especially its director, Bob Sharon. Without his help in bringing Part Texas and Part USA, we could have not been as visible to patients. Thanks to him and his vision recognizing that Part Texas and Part USA were the missing piece that pain patients so desperately needed. This movement is not built by one person. It is built by people who are tired of watching pain patients being treated like criminals, liabilities, or statistics. And that includes me. It is built by people who believe medical decisions belong between the patients and their doctors. And it is built by people who are willing to speak, even when their voice shakes. June of 2026 has shown us that this work matters. The Washington, D.C. advocacy trip mattered. The Texas Medical Board public comments mattered. The Texas GOP state convention mattered. The district resolutions and the planks mattered. The Break the Bottleneck Act mattered. The platform language mattered. The conversation with legislators mattered. And every single person who helped push this forward mattered. We still have a lot of work ahead, but we're not standing still.
As we approach the 1-year anniversary of P.A.R.T. Texas on August 5th, 2026, we are proud of what has been accomplished. But we are even more focused on what comes next. This is only the beginning. We are going to keep building. We are going to keep advocating. We are going to keep working with patients, doctors, lawmakers, and organizations that understand the importance of appropriate pain treatment access. The next step is turning these victories into real legislation, real policy, and real protection for patients and physicians.
And why this membership matters so much. When lawmakers, medical boards, agencies, and organizations ask how many people we represent, membership gives us an answer. It shows that this is not just one family speaking. It is not just one patient speaking. It is a growing movement of chronic pain patients, caregivers, physicians, advocates, and supporters who want change. Every person who signs up helps to strengthen that voice. Membership helps those us the decision makers that chronic pain patients are organized, paying attention, and ready to be part of the legislative process. It helps us build numbers. It helps us build communication faster when action is needed. It helps us send updates, call to action, and important information to the people who want to help. And it helps us prove that this issue is not small. Because when we sit in front of lawmakers, boards, or agencies, numbers matter. Stories matter, name matters, people matter. So if you support this mission, please sign up as a member of P.A.R.T Texas or P.A.R.T USA, or even both. Even free membership matters, because your name adds strength to this movement. And together, we are much harder to ignore. To every chronic pain patient watching this, please hear me. You're not forgotten. You're not invisible, and you're not alone. P.A.R.T Texas and P.A.R.T USA are here, and we are fighting to make sure your voice is heard. Thank you for standing up with us. Thank you for supporting this mission. And thank you for believing that change is possible.
Hang in there, folks. We are actually getting pain is not